Alright. Are you doing it?
Nope.
Okay. Welcome to the Finished Business Podcast with your host
Nick McQuain.
and co-hosts Brad and Lance the Vegan.
Here I am.
Alright. And today we're talking about living off the grid and a self-sustaining lifestyle because of all the stupid stuff that's going on in the world, right?
Absolutely. I'm down. Let's go.
Current political climate.
Yeah.
Current political climate. So we got the old Trumpster in charge. Nobody seems to like him except for a select few. So everybody wants to move to Canada, which is basically
Is that
the
a thing
mountains.
still? Okay, the mountains. All right.
The mountains. Yep.
Yeah, the mountains. Not necessarily Canada, because I don't know that Canada's better. Canada is beautiful.
Yep.
I don't know about the laws, though.
It's like the whole thing is all of Canada is just the Pacific Northwest, but bigger, right?
Right, exactly. And they say "hey" at the end of every
Hey.
sentence. And they drink maple syrup.
Isn't there like president guy? Isn't he just like whichever moose is the biggest?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Speaking of Canada, the Super Troopers just came out.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Looking forward to it. No
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Me either, but I want to see it.
Yeah, it looks
So
good.
no spoilers are going to happen. This is good. All right. This weekend.
So,
The mountains. You want to go live in the mountains, huh?
well, hold on.
Living off the grid.
Yeah,
Off the
why
grid.
why
Well,
would
it has-
you?
Has
Why
to
would
be in
you?
the mountains.
So, yeah.
What would make you go live off the grid and like try to live a self-sustaining life out of the mountains?
How would you live off the grid?
Well,
but
what
why?
would make you? Yeah,
Why would
why
you-
would you go?
If I had the choice now to do it, if I had the money to, I would.
Boy, you don't. It doesn't need any money.
If I could buy a Sprinter van and convert it to a living space.
You just need to go go up to the mountains. There's plenty of cabins up there. You just squat in one, and you're good.
So my ideal situation would be, of course, running water. I think,
Running water's good. Yeah.
like maybe a creek that runs through.
Awesome. Yeah.
Have
Listen to the creek.
have a little hydropower come from it, maybe.
Oh,
Like a
so-
little water wheel that
Yeah.
on a generator?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Solar's come a long way recently. I mean, solar panels are cheaper, better.
But
But
living
they only,
next to
they
a
only
creek,
run during daytime.
living next to a creek has other benefits like water.
Yeah. Water's
Yeah.
good. Water's
Yeah.
really good.
Fresh water.
The solar panels, though, are extremely good at heating the water. That's like the best thing that they do. So you can actually have solar panels that have like little water reservoirs in them. That then your solar panels are your water heaters. Freaking amazing. Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
get, we're kind of in the prime area to go off the grid too, because
Yeah, we
we're
are.
in the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
45 minutes away from a mountain,
yeah,
from
Or
the
less.
mountains.
or less. Yeah,
Deep
depending on which
mountains
mountains.
is 45 minutes away. Is like light mountains are 20 minutes away.
Yep.
We could just hop the border and go to Idaho, and it's just all mountains.
Yep. The whole thing. They might have 6 mooses too.
But none of them are Canadian, eh?
No, yeah, moosing in the woods.
They since they're not Canadian born, they can't be president.
Immigrants, yeah.
Do we have moose in the area?
We do, yeah.
Apparently.
They're few and far
Apparently.
between. You can get a hunting license once in a lifetime to shoot a moose in our area.
Yeah.
Plain. So it's a once in a lifetime hunt, and you can shoot a moose, and they're generally up a little bit further north.
Montana.
So no, like Washington and Idaho are like definitely the best places to like do your moose hunting, but it's going to be like the northern parts of the state. So like Spokane and north, I would say.
So mostly Canadian.
Yeah.
Pretty much Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
The more free Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But, so why would you go off the grid right now? I mean, because of politics? Because of you just want to live a simpler life, or what?
If they're coming for my guns.
I think for me it would be just kind of living a simpler life. If they were coming for my guns or whatever, I'd probably...
Yep. It's about that time, eh?
Yeah, about that time, eh? Righto.
Righto. Name that reference, guys.
Do you know that?
No,
Okay,
that's okay.
that's off topic.
We'll leave it for the comments there.
I think that I have a natural urge to want to be self-sustaining and be less dependent upon like the system, I guess, and because a lot of it's really nice, running water and toilets, water heaters and showers and
Just to clarify, by the system you mean infrastructure then?
yeah, like a
Okay.
taxpayer, you know. community member.
Good old sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Mhm.
Yeah, like as opposed to shitting in the woods, you know. I just shit and it gets taken care of.
Yeah.
Could take a shovel with you and like turn the dirt upside down where you shoot.
Right, or you dig a big hole in the mountains, but for me, I would want to live up in the mountains and be self-sustaining just because it's possible, and like more of the way I feel we're meant to be. You know, I would rather not have a smartphone. I'd rather have a basic phone back. You know, just be more in touch with the people in your lives.
So what do you think about those beacon things that you can get nowadays? Like you can take, like if you're going on like a crazy hike or whatever, like up a mountain or whatever, you can like light off this big beacon and it's like GPS powered, and if you light it off, then the search and rescue comes and finds you.
I think that's cool if you're like scaling Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but they do it like all over the place. Like we got like Mount Baker and Mount Hood and like some
Rainier,
yeah, like
Yeah, that's cool.
regular sized mountains.
Well, speaking of phones, most of us probably have phones in our pockets that can be tracked
Very true.
and send a text message. They can come find you. You know, if you're.
But like
missing.
cell service up on mountains are still not the greatest.
Right.
Yeah. Oftentimes when Lance the vegan and I go camping and, you know, we hunt down a little rabbit that's made out of lettuce for Lance.
Yeah.
There's no cell service up there. I usually take my cell phone to take photographs, and that's about it. And
Yeah,
just in case.
Yeah, I just leave it in airplane mode so the battery lasts forever and just take
So,
pictures of it.
do
It's all
you-
cool. Yeah.
Do you need cellular service to get GPS signal?
We don't use the GPS, but
I have a actual GPS.
like a hiking one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just saying, like if you don't have service and you have your cell phone with you.
Most of the time it needs data and its GPS signal to really know what to do though, unless you download the maps.
But I think it's the cell service is to get the maps
Mhm.
and the
To download
GPS.
the map data.
Right, and the GPS is for the positioning.
Mhm.
So if you pre-download the maps, I think you can pre-download maps, and then the GPS would work.
That's how a handheld GPS works, anyways.
Right, but it's
Right.
just got its dedicated storage for downloaded maps, yeah. And if you hook it up to the internet, then it downloads new maps, or you put a new SD card in it with the new map data on it. It's all kinds of stuff. Garmin's got the good stuff when it comes to that, and it's really expensive.
So current political climate says that
It's about time to move to the mountains.
move to the mountains.
Okay.
Okay.
That things could become unruly. and
Civil unrest.
Civil unrest,
Mhm.
or maybe, you know, if certain things happen in bigger cities, it wouldn't even have to happen close to us. It could be a big city, and it would affect us. Take out like Portland or Seattle, or even Spokane, or just a dam on the Columbia River. You know, that would affect huge parts of the Northwest
Mhm.
ecosystem and
Yeah.
economy. And
No, the Pacific Northwest relies on a lot of different things that kind of were established like back in the 60s to work. And if those things all just disappear, like mainly what I'm talking about is like the dams,
yeah,
then all of a sudden like we have like floods in a lot of major areas and
the
that's not
interstate
good.
system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you were to, so we've done backwoods camping and that sort of thing. You walk in with a backpack with your gear, and
That's all you've got.
that's all you got is what you have on you.
Mhm.
So would you live in a tent? Would you build a cabin? Would you try to build something out of the nature to live in as a shelter?
Or are you just going to be on the move like the Indians back in the day?
Yeah, you're going to be a nomad and just walk around and find new
Well,
places.
You know, it's interesting because if you live on the mountain, part of that mountain in the wintertime might be covered in snow, so you might have to move down to the plainier part of it.
Or you can build an igloo,
Yeah.
So
which apparently is a pretty good shelter.
Get yourself a bear and
Yeah.
take the bear skin and you can get your worm and.
yeah, so if to answer the question, I would probably build a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I would do too.
Yep.
Something that would keep me warm, put a stove in the wintertime.
Yeah, definitely.
Good plan. Good plan.
So would you?
How big of an area would you want to have to explore? I mean, basically, once you're off the grid, you no longer have your smartphone. You no longer. I mean, you might have like your GPS, but like how many batteries you got for it? I mean, it's.
Yeah, that is.
So what are you going to do for your entertainment? Because like we need to be entertained. We're used to like going to movies every Friday. We're used to being on the internet 24/7 at our current lifestyle, and there's unlimited entertainment as long as you're in town. Now you're in the mountains. What are you doing?
Well, if you're going to be the type of person that's in the mountains, you'd be the type of person that doesn't need things like that to survive, like Facebook or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you'd be the type of person that can go without their phone for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Sandy.
I think for me it'd just be appreciating nature, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know about you. I could sit next to a stream and just like sit there and watch it and listen to it for.
Well,
I
there
don't know
would
how
be
many
plenty
hours.
of things to do.
Yeah,
Because you would need to find your food.
Mm-hmm.
You could
we have to build your cabin.
build your cabin,
Yeah.
build a vegetable garden,
Yeah,
There you go.
definitely.
and build a fence to keep the deer out or whatever, the elk out. Yeah, there's plenty of things to do.
So what tools would you take in there initially? Like what tools do you think would be important to start living off the grid? Like
A
let's
knife.
say you had to pack up right now. You had to pack up your car. You could fill up your car. And you had to drive to the mountains and start with nothing but what was in your car. What would you pack?
The
in your
first
car?
thing I would pack,
A go bag.
a chainsaw.
It's a good plan.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Would you bring extra fuel for the chainsaw?
It's probably a good plan. Yeah. But I mean, like, are you coming back to town every once in a while to like resupply, or are you just starting
Okay,
what
well
you
then-
got?
I'm saying no resupply. I'm saying you're going to go live in the mountains. Period. You can't come back to town because let's say it's been overrun by monsters.
Zombies.
Zombies. Okay.
Okay.
So at that
Zombies.
point,
we're zombie apocalypse.
You
now.
forget the chainsaw
Yeah.
and you take a couple of
Yeah,
good axes.
because we've hinted at the Trump administration causing,
Civil unrest.
but we haven't gone with it. So let's go with zombies. I think we can
Okay.
do that.
Let's go with zombies.
Everybody's seen zombie movies. Everybody's seen zombie TV shows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's going to happen.
Okay. So are these slow zombies or these fast zombies?
I live my life on a daily basis with looking at objects around me and seeing how I can use them to reinforce my car, reinforce my front door, create like a gate. I'm constantly, because when you have a zombie mobile, you want the windshield covered. So like I see things like, oh, that would be perfect for it. Take that guardrail down and put it around the bumper, sort of thing. I'm always thinking about a zombie preparedness survival plan.
That's good.
100%.
Okay, but as far as like living off the grid and like building a cabin and stuff, what would you take? Chainsaw? That's a great one.
Chainsaw and fuel,
Mm-hmm.
a gun,
Okay. What
And
type
then-
of gun? Do you have a preference on type?
probably a handgun and a shotgun, maybe even a rifle. No, probably a rifle and a handgun.
So you're talking like the controversial gun, the AR-15 semi-automatic American rifle,
Fully semi-automatic.
fully semi-automatic.
Holy
with
crap.
With clips.
With 30 round
30-round magazine
death
clips.
There's some big bears out there.
Yeah.
And wolves. Wolves
Okay,
are reemerging.
okay. I would not use an AR-15 against a bear. Just saying. That's way too underpowered.
Yeah, it's got the speed to go through.
Yeah, but that's that. Okay.
You gotta hit him in the bio.
We're getting off it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I think I
you
would rather,
need a big gun. You need a little gun.
I think I'd rather take my lever action 30-30.
There you go.
I think that'd be enough to take down a bear. That's good enough to go hunting for
Yeah.
like elk and deer.
Mm-hmm. You also want a handgun, so you just have something on you all the
The
time.
handgun would be for the bear.
Okay. So like a fairly large
45.
Okay.
Something that you can just have on you, and it's always
Yeah,
on you, so
so
you've got
say-
your own personal protection wherever you go.
So you speak of the volume of bullets that come out, or the caliber of bullets that come out. Like with the
It has to do with it, yeah.
that really a situation with a bear would be you'd want to hit it in the right spot, and I think that goes with hunting in general. Like you kind
Yeah.
of practice at hitting an animal in the-
People archery hunt
in
for
the
bear.
head or the heart. Yeah,
It's
no.
a thing.
That's
It's
hardcore.
So-
it's hardcore, but it's a thing.
So yeah, I would bring a rifle and probably need 2 or 3 shots to hit it in the head, the bear. Because if you hit it in the stomach, it would just piss it off.
Yeah, but you probably most of the time when you go hunting, you want to like if you're going to hunt a deer, you want to get a double lung hit, which is from the side. You hit it right here behind its shoulder, and it punctures both lungs. I would say for a bear, you'd have a better chance at hitting it in the chest.
In the chest.
Because a headshot is harder than you think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to be a heck of a shot for that kind of thing, especially on a moving target, especially when it's moving right at you. You're just like,
how fast do they go? They move. Bears move
faster than you.
What about mountain lions, though?
Yeah.
Mountain lions.
And those are sneaky. You gotta watch out.
Yeah.
Like cougars, things of that nature. Yeah.
I don't know. From what I've been told, is mountain lions won't attack you unless they're really hungry.
Yeah, or you don't know what's happening.
Right. Or it's too late.
Yeah. So a little known fact about hunting laws.
If you see them, a mountain lion, they're not going to eat you.
Oh yeah, probably not. So a little known fact about hunting laws in Washington State. So you're not allowed to hunt with calibers under 24 caliber. So basically the smallest round you can actually hunt with is a .243 round, and you cannot hunt with a .223 round or a .556 round that the AR-15 uses. You're not allowed to hunt with it.
Okay.
Well, except for varmints.
Right. Yeah. You can hunt. You can shoot coyotes, things like that.
You can hunt small game.
Right.
With
But
an AR.
you can't shoot your deer or your bear that you've got a tag for with an AR-15. You're not allowed to.
Following.
Yeah.
Because it's seen as inhumane.
Right.
Because you end up having to shoot it multiple times to kill it.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, I wouldn't have an AR-15. I would maybe have an AR-10, which is essentially the same rifle but a .308. But honestly, I think that my lever action 30-30 is more practical for.
It's lighter, easier to carry.
It's
easier
lighter.
to use. Really.
Yeah. It doesn't have the rate of fire. It doesn't really have the.
That's to your benefit, though.
Right.
Calms you down. You lever action. Take a breath each time.
Well, but
accuracy is way better.
I would do that with the semi-automatic too, especially if I was in a survival situation. You want to conserve ammo. But the other benefits of the lever action 30-30 that I have is it's going to be way more reliable when it's dirty compared to an AR platform rifle, and they have gotten a lot better. But but generally, that was an issue that they had when they first came out with the M16 and stuff, which
like
is
back in the Vietnam War, they were like having overheat issues and things like that, and that's largely not the case anymore with newer technology.
Yeah, I'd maybe take an AK-47.
Mm-hmm.
That might be okay.
There you go.
So wilderness survival.
So you got to have a gun.
So
possibly a chainsaw.
Gun. Okay, so chainsaw. That's great, especially for building.
Oh, that was my fault. That little tangent we went on was because I brought up the gun thing.
Yeah. Well,
damn. Okay.
Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about with guns.
Right. So
steer clear.
Okay, beyond. Okay, we're done with the guns for now.
Done with guns. What else do you need? You need shelter.
Okay, so
shelter. The chainsaw can help you build a shelter. That's great.
Yep.
This is the way I see it. Is that you say, let's go live up in the mountains and be prepared for anything and self-sustaining. All right. So in my head, I know that there's a road I can drive up that has tons of cabins of people living up there already, and they don't have phones. They have power, but a lot of times they need like a fuel source, like diesel or.
A lot of them have like the propane tanks, like the big ones.
Yeah. So
some sort of generator for electricity.
Yeah. And somebody comes up with a propane tank and like.
Or a big truck that fills it. So when we make the topic such as like outdoor living or self-sustaining living, I want to argue with you that it's being done right now. There's people already up there. Like for instance, you can live close to the mountains out in the country and have enough food in your house and your cellar to live for like a month or 2 months and have a wood fire stove and not need any sort of fuel.
Right. So what's your idea on this? Okay, so you're like a nomad living out in the the Blue Mountains.
I don't know that I would be a nomad.
Right. But
I
like
want to be by myself.
Right, like but you're like up there and like you have to figure out a way to eat.
So like in the wintertime I'd go down, in the summertime I could probably go up. So figure out how to eat.
Yeah, so I mean here's the thing. So right now, as the laws sit, you can't just go up there and shoot a deer and eat it.
Right. But
you have to have a tag for that.
Well, okay, but if we're talking about zombies.
Well, no, not just that. The laws don't apply.
So we're talking about those don't apply?
Okay. We're talking like
I mean
without rule of law situation, I think.
Yeah,
right?
so we have like general like.
But if you just wanted to go up
kill
today,
human, but like we don't have to worry about pooling water, or saving water, or anything like that because that's illegal. Like saving rainwater, no, fuck those rules.
Yeah.
So we can kill anything.
That's dumb, but
we could kill any animal or anything that we need to survive. So without attack.
All right.
So we're talking about without rule of law. So like if zombie apocalypse or
so you're not a poacher because you like shot something so that you could eat it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
So, I think that it's important to have a good. I think, building a shelter and building a garden, like you said, I think a garden is very important.
Right.
So I think that I would definitely take gardening tools like a shovel and a rake and a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Because then you could, help get your garden going. And not only that, but I think that it's harder to build a garden without a shovel. And you can build a shovel, I guess, but it's, I don't know, it's not going to be as good as a shovel that you get from the store.
I don't see gardening and shovels that have a lot to do with each other. I see shovels digging holes. Gardening is tilling and making rows.
Yeah.
You can hand till with a shovel.
Yeah.
A pick.
It's easier with a shovel, I promise.
Yeah, that's a pick could be
like
a good
pickaxe
one.
to initially tear up the ground, and then a hoe to break it up, pull
the ground up in the mountains is pretty soft for the most part. I mean, where it's dirt. If it's rocky, it's rocky. But if it's dirt, it's dirt.
You have to get all the rocks out.
Yeah. But shovels are really, really handy. I'd highly recommend bringing a shovel if you had to work off the grid. Yeah, shovels are good.
Not specifically
and you can you can dig a shitter.
Yeah, that's what I would bring a shovel for.
And you could use the shovel would be handy for building a cabin too, because you have to put something in the ground as a foundation.
Yeah, and trenches and
a moat. With alligators.
I was going to say a canal system for water to water your vegetables.
Remember, guys, water travels downhill.
Unless you have aqueduct. Then your water travels uphill. Anyway. I think another good one would be a good fixed blade knife. One that you can use for pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's probably...
You'll use it every day, I promise.
Yeah, that's probably... When we go camping, that's one of my most important things I always bring is I have a fixed blade knife that's about that long, and it's quality, and I can use it to split wood. I can use it to make little things.
Right. So knife, pocket knife, Leatherman.
Yeah. I'd say a fixed blade knife though, because a folding knife, you have a point of failure there.
Right.
So
finer details matter.
Yeah. A folding knife. I'm not going to put anybody down for taking a folding knife over a fixed blade knife, but I think that there's a benefit with the fixed blade knife in this sort of situation.
Fair. I was thinking of a buck knife.
That's what I have.
Folding knife. That's pretty. Buck knife.
My fixed blade is a buck knife. That's a brand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you think of that? I think of brass ends with the wood in the middle.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
the classic folding knife.
You push the back and it comes back in.
Yeah. That's like the classic folding knife. My grandpa carries one of those every day in his pocket.
You have little teeny tiny ones.
Yeah, he's got one that's like, I don't know, it's like that big folded.
Yeah.
4 inches.
Yeah. And then you have the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a buck hunting knife.
Mm-hmm. If I'm going to the mountains, I've got my trusty SOG knife that's nice and long.
I have one of those too.
Mm-hmm.
Your SOG, is it the pup?
Mm-hmm.
Steel pup?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good knife. Okay, so preference on knives. Do you like more of the tactical, like the SOG pup, or do you like...
old school, like a Bowie?
Yeah, or you've seen my knife.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of it's a classic style, but it's a modern knife.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what's your preference? I
I
mean,
feel
you
like-
like the old school with the wood and the brass, or do you like the new school with like micarta handle and like Tonto point and stuff?
So
Tactical.
Personally, I really like having the serrated on the bottom half of the knife, which is because that tends to like stay sharper longer, and it's like better for doing a lot of different things.
Consistent.
Yeah, it's more consistent. So for things like cutting string, stuff like that, you're going to end up using the serrated part of the knife over the flat part of the knife. Even though the flat part of the knife is more than capable of cutting the string, the serrated part just does it a little better.
Right.
Because it gets kind of caught in the serrations.
Yeah. As far as like the edges on the knife, I'm not like sold on that. Like a curved blade knife is totally fine.
So what about you? It's totally, what's your preference? I lean more towards a classic style knife just because I like the aesthetics. There's not really any functional aspect that I see that's a benefit. Is just I like the way it looks and feels.
I would probably go with a fixed blade because over time the folding knives will break.
Yep, but I mean
just across my job, I go through a folding knife every under 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, they're just throwaways at this point.
But I mean like a classic style, like with wood and brass and stuff, or more of like a tactical, like something you would think of a Navy SEAL carrying.
Well, I have a SOG knife. I don't know exactly what the model is, but I would have probably one made out of an antler.
Those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I have one of those.
Yeah.
Or
homemade or like just store bought.
I don't know if you can buy them store bought. Like
I'm sure you can.
An actual. Get those at the pawn shop, you know.
Yeah.
I see them at the pawn shop all the
Old,
time.
like classic one. Yeah. So that'd be more of a
Antlers.
classic style.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So knife, chainsaw, gun, gardening tools, axe. An axe is important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Especially when the chainsaw runs out of fuel.
So you have the axe. I have the pickaxe.
Somebody call him something?
No.
I would have the pickaxe because it's better at demolishing the ground. Not demolishing the ground, but tilling the ground.
Okay. I can see that.
Breaking up the ground, the topsoil.
But you don't use a pickaxe for wood. That's the point of the axe.
Gardening? Is that what we're talking about?
No. I'm talking beyond that. Talking about more tools that would be useful.
So axe, yeah, because then chainsaw runs out of fuel. So everything, a lot of things were built with axes back in the day, and horses.
Yeah.
Horses and axes. So.
Ooh, and an awl. An awl would be good for.
An awl?
Yeah, for making the cabin. It's like a hand tool for.
I'll just get a solar bank with Milwaukee drills and battery powered.
I know. I have a client who
Close.
has a cabin that's like off the grid, and he's got solar panels on the roof, and then he's got a little garage next to the cabin that's full of batteries. And it's really
charging.
It can last for weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how long it will last.
Depending on what you're doing. But
what kind of batteries does he have in there?
They're like marine car batteries. This is what they look like.
So they are the same.
But they're bigger. The ones he has are
yeah.
bigger. I don't know what type of batteries they are, but he's got he's got all the stuff to set it up and to run it. It takes some circuitry and that sort of thing, but it'll run the electricity in his cabin even if the sun's not out.
Okay.
But only for a certain amount of time,
Okay.
and then the solar panels recharge it.
Right. So it's like a power wall, like a Tesla power wall.
Yeah, but not
on
on
a
the wall.
grand scale. A lot more bigger batteries.
Same technology, just refined,
Yeah.
commercialized.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why I was asking what kind of batteries. Because if you were to walk into his garage, is it like all the same, or does he group certain ones together? Are they different colors?
They're all the same batteries.
So they all look the same.
Yeah.
But think like a car battery, but like at least twice as big.
Right. I understand that. Yeah.
So would you rather have like electricity, like you were talking about with the water wheel? Would you have solar panels, or would you just live without electricity, or maybe some other way of getting electricity, like a steam engine or something?
I think if I have the opportunity, I'm setting up a solar system just because that's kind of the wave of the future. I mean, the technology has come a long ways over the last couple of years.
I'm going no power at all.
Yeah, I think
A
I'm
wood
leaning more
stove.
towards no power, because I think it's a little. Because what happens when you're up there and you have all this awesome solar stuff, and eventually it deteriorates, and there's no way to get any more? You then have to live without electricity anyway.
You have to go rob the Tesla factory.
But
that's where
kill all
the zombies are.
Yeah. His old muskie comes out.
Oh no!
The zombie lord.
SpaceX.
So.
But does that mean the zombies are launching rockets and like going to take over Mars and stuff?
Oh
no,
dude, zombies on Mars.
That's terrible.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, that was too exciting for you.
Are they living up there with the octopuses?
Okay,
Yeah,
I remember now.
Okay.
So, is a horse considered a tool? Because I would bring a horse with me.
What if it turns into a zombie horse?
Lance the vegan. Lance the vegan.
See, that's the problem. Is Lance here? The horse wouldn't last long. He'd end up eating it. If it was made out of lettuce.
Right. The horse is eating grass.
So
it's fair game, right?
So
You are what you eat. So the horse is grass.
From your head to your feet.
And so that means if you eat the horse,
you just ate grass.
then you just ate grass.
Right.
okay, so I'd take a horse, a chainsaw, and something to trade.
All natural.
Like, what would you take to trade?
Bullets.
See, I don't think that bullets are a good thing to trade.
You don't think so?
No, I know a lot of people think so. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, okay, what are your reasons?
Because then people, I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be.
Then other people have your bullets if you use them to trade. Is that the problem?
No, that's part of it, but also
Does it you feel like a death dealer or what?
no. There's like a finite number of bullets, and when you use bullets to hunt, then there's going to be less bullets, and the price of the bullets are going to go up.
So you would rather keep them and not get rid of them?
I would rather use them to go hunting.
And not get rid of them at all. Keep them.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. I would maybe trade something else for bullets. Like, hey, oh man, Nick,
I got some eggs.
Yeah.
From my
I have
chickens.
I have chickens. They have eggs. I will trade you a couple dozen eggs for like 10 rounds for my rifle, so I can go get a deer.
So where my head's at would be I'd grab some pot seeds. Or maybe
like marijuana.
yeah,
He's
marijuana
gonna-
seeds.
So you're trading bricks of marijuana for. So do you think that's going to be something?
There's other things like I would bring a tomato plant up
Okay.
with me.
Well, I mean,
Tomato plants,
we already talked about making a garden. Yeah, we got.
Oh, but that's the thing we didn't talk about is seeds. So.
Right.
Yeah, so I'd bring. So we're talking about things you can trade.
Yeah, so
It
you
would
go-
be
you
a
go-
barter system.
Jack of Walmart's like home and garden center and just take all their
Yeah,
seed
so
packages.
like
before you
corn,
go.
all that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you could trade. You can also get like poppy seeds.
There you go.
Poppy seeds, and that would be
To make heroin.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Like
thinking like
an opiate.
So
Yeah.
you would be
So you're-
a mountain man drug dealer.
Yeah.
this is great.
All right.
Yeah, because everyone has vices, so I would want for you to
So
bring
what
up
about
a
the
liquor still.
Alcohol stills, yeah. That's what
So,
I'm
so
saying.
you, so I do the weed and you do the
Well, and then
alcohol.
you could grow the corn. So, and I will trade you, a case of my moonshine for your corn so that I can make the
so you
moonshine.
can make the moonshine.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'll sell Lance the vegan over here moonshine because it's made out of corn, so it's vegan.
And then
Right.
and then I would take the
Especially if
cannabis.
it's mixed with some deer. I don't know.
What about the cannabis though? Would I like make you guys clothes out of it? Is that how you?
Well, I've
I
heard
don't
that
really want marijuana clothes.
you end up like that Cheech and Chong where the band is made out of weed.
No,
Okay.
that's not the way it works.
But
I've seen that movie. That's a good one.
yeah. Well, I know you can make a lot of things out of that plant. Like you can make clothing.
Yeah.
You can make rope. You can make. I think Ford was working on some sort of plastic with it, right?
So I think it's as versatile as petroleum.
Okay.
So it's at the same comparison as petroleum.
And you can also smoke it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I could see that. Actually, I could see that being a very viable crop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd get a lot of money for weed if I was.
You're not
bartering.
getting money anymore. It's things.
Okay, value. Sorry, I don't think there's a lot of value in
Yeah.
weed. It would be just as valuable as perhaps eggs or bread.
Yeah. Because I could come up to you and be like, hey man, I'll trade you a dozen eggs for this many hemp plants so I can make some rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hemp rope.
Hemp rope.
Or
4-foot hemp
maybe
rope.
you were making
Name that reference.
you were making wicks for a candle.
Yep.
You know, maybe
Oh.
you were doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think lanterns are the wave of the future here.
Lanterns require fuel, though, right?
Yeah,
Like a fuel
right.
source.
I mean, but I think fuel might be one of the big currencies too.
Ooh, yeah.
Like
Or-
diesel.
Yeah, or like any fuel like at all. Yeah,
Because I would
things to
want,
make engines run.
I would want a dirt bike.
Yeah.
I would really want a dirt bike and a horse. I mean,
Forget the horse, get the dirt
Yeah.
bike. Yeah.
See, but the dirt bike, it would use fuel. And it would be loud. If we're talking zombies, that might be dangerous.
Depends on the zombies.
If there were-
their ears might disintegrate.
Yeah,
True.
but maybe they felt the vibrations in the ground.
No,
maybe they're like a
there-
primal
there you go,
level.
There
of-
you go. All right.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, so fuel could be a big one.
Mhm.
I think in certain parts of the United States, clean water could be a big one. I know here it would
certain
be.
parts of the United States in the
Like
mountains.
Flint, Michigan.
We're not talking about the mountains.
Well, no, okay, so I have some buddies who have moved over from the the Midwest. I always wanted to say the Middle East.
Same thing.
The Midwest, and they moved over here, and we'll go hiking. I just take my water bottle. If the stream is clear and running, it's probably safe. So you stick your water bottle in it, fill it up. It says like everybody. I've done that my entire life, and I've never gotten sick.
Okay.
And so, and then you drink it, and they go, "Dude, you're gonna get sick." And I'm like, "No, it's clean."
Yeah, this is clean mountain water.
So mountain water?
Yeah.
Okay.
But where they're from, the water is not clean.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So if a whole bunch of
water.
people, like, if you get into,
Yeah.
like, a community in the mountains, and, like, a bunch of people have gardens, and a bunch of people are fertilizing, all of a sudden your water source is not necessarily going to be clean anymore.
It depends on how close the people are.
Yeah.
And how many
But
people.
That's how they found all the penguins in Antarctica, was by their shit, by their poop.
Yeah.
They found poop, satellite images of
From
and so they just like 2 million penguins off of their shit.
satellites?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, not GPS, but satellite imagery.
Okay.
So if you guys are going off topic, I'm gonna go off topic every once in a while.
All right, that's cool. we got shitty penguins.
Hey, do you have any beer over there?
Yeah,
I'm out of beer, and I'll take one of yours, and I'll give you one later.
barter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you.
So, how
I'll give
much
you
beer
another
do you take with you? Do you
Wow.
pretty much like fill your
Nope,
entire
you don't
trunk?
take any beer.
You don't take any beer?
Nope, you got to make the beer.
Yep.
Okay. You
You
just take
so-
take the still.
That's not
No.
my brother. That's what he would do. Is we'd go up there, and he'd be the beer
I
dealer.
don't know. He made that
You'd be the
bacon
weed
beer.
dealer.
I don't know.
So you would bring.
Well, you didn't have it. It was awful.
I don't think the mountains would render a situation where beer would be the thing you would make. I think you would make hard liquor or moonshine.
Mhm.
So instead
I don't
of
know,
beer,
man. There's a
Use
lot
it
of
to
people.
run your motorcycle.
listen.
I am
So
listening.
you take your beer and you pour it out and you fill it with corn or wheat, and you take that up there instead, so you can distill and grow the wheat and the corn,
I don't like this
and then you
idea
make
very much.
liquor
man.
from it.
I don't
Wait,
want to give up.
Are you talking about you drink the beer out of the bottle?
Or you pour it out. This
No,
is
you can't
listen,
pour out a
Pour it
beer.
out.
listen. So this is a
Okay.
situation where
Yeah. But then
So-
you would fill the bottle with corn or wheat.
this is a situation where you get a phone call or you hear on the radio that the world is ending, that zombies are a mile away.
Okay.
So you get on your dirt bike and you're like, beer? Do you take a beer, or do you like grab your jar full of seeds and pour it in there, and then you go up the mountain?
Just take
Well,
the jar
I
full of
wouldn't.
seeds.
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say I wouldn't bother pouring the jar full of seeds into my beer. But I get what you're saying. I understand. I wouldn't take the beer. You're
I mean,
right.
we're-
I wouldn't take the beer. I'd take the seeds. I wouldn't pour it in
Beer
my beer
would be a
bottle.
luxury.
Mhm.
Can you
But
imagine?
you can trade that for so many bullets.
For a lot more bullets than probably moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The moonshine goes further because you can dilute the moonshine, and it's kind of like beer. I mean, not really, but
All right, man.
I would probably just try and grab as much fruit and vegetables as possible and put them into a bag, take them up there, because a lot of vegetables, if you
I mean,
throw
they're gonna
them,
get rotten.
listen, if you throw vegetables like a carrot into the ground, or a potato,
It
or
grows
celery
another one, yeah.
into the ground, it grows another one.
Mhm.
So I would just shove all this produce, like 2 of each, like Noah's Ark. I'm going through the produce section at Safeway on my way out, and I'd grab a couple of each thing and just throw it in a bag. Build a garden with it.
Put it on your dirt bike and go. Like
Yeah,
you got the
dirt
sack
bike.
over your shoulder.
Yeah, and then the horse would be like a pack horse.
You dragging that behind you on the
Yeah,
dirt bike?
it was smart enough to know where my cabin is.
I see. Okay.
So it knows
All right.
my
It's
home.
already there.
Yeah.
It's you got it prepared. Okay.
It's
No,
got a doggy with it.
I think you got a pretty good plan with the vegetables and stuff. Okay, but that would be another good one. Is a dog,
Yeah. Dogs are handy.
Dogs are super handy.
like not a little like
Not a-
chihuahua.
those
Even
are
a
cats, and
Chihuahua
cats
would
don't
help.
count.
Would be a guard dog.
Yeah, I don't know if I can easily drop kick it over a fence. It's not a dog.
It's a cat.
Hey, there might be some advantage
Cats are
if
terrible.
a big bear versus a little chihuahua. The little chihuahua can just like duck, dive, and dodge the big old bear. You know, the bear swats it and it's like bounces out of the way. You know?
Duck, dive, and dodge. So you're gonna have the chihuahua, and you're gonna throw
Duck,
wrenches
dive,
at
and
it.
Yeah,
Dodge.
for what offense is that?
Oh, come on. Everybody knows that one.
Okay, but no, but I think a dog is a good one. But I think it has to
It's
be,
gotta be like
at
a-
least a medium size.
a border collie or
to
a
look
lab.
scary, just to either warn you of predator animals or to scare the
So
predator.
we're talking one
animals
of the
away.
smart ones. Husky.
Well,
I think any dog would be smart enough to be like, that's the fucking animal or something moving in the bush right there. I'm gonna bark at it.
Well, but even
there's certain ones that are better than others.
But even I think you have to have at least a medium-sized dog, because a medium-sized dog can at least hold back a predator or something.
A smaller predator like a possum or like a bobcat.
I mean, even like a bobcat, or
a possum is a very it's a predator.
Or let's say there's a guy walking in the
planet.
Let's say there's a guy walking onto your property going
He's got a
and so the dog, he's like, you got a pretty mouth, and the dog
around here.
yeah. And so the dog, if you have a medium-sized dog or larger, it can, at least hold back the person so that you can defend yourself, or so that you can
go get your gun and 30-30 is that down.
Whereas a Chihuahua, like let's say that there's a cougar.
A Chihuahua.
Yeah. So you have a Chihuahua. So let's say there's a cougar, and it's like, and it just goes. You have no more Chihuahua.
Game over,
if it's a medium-sized dog, there's at least going to be a fight.
A little bit of a bark to let you know that it's dying.
Yeah.
Instead of
if you listen closely, you might be able to hear that.
No, the dog would run away.
Maybe
versus a cougar? No, man.
I think the cougar
wins.
Yeah.
But cougars are interesting animals.
They are.
So it's important to have shelter and a garden and some sort of means of hunting.
Yeah.
So we got food, shelter now.
Food, shelter.
And you keep talking about entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta have entertainment,
you bring
man.
some books. You bring
you're gonna go through them, man.
Or your wife, or a family, a crew.
What if you don't got one of them?
But you could make
crew.
up.
I got a crew. Man.
You could make up games though.
Yeah.
So like
you go hide behind the tree, and I'll come find you.
Yeah. Let's go play hide and go seek. No, but what about like Cub?
Yeah.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
We play that.
Yeah.
I could make some sort of, I don't know, make up any sort of game. Hey.
But this all involves, like, other people around. What if y'all just got ate by the zombies? And it's just me out
Is
there.
this you?
Skipping rocks? That's fun. I mean, come on.
For how long?
Fishing, whether you catch stuff or
fishing
not.
is good, yeah.
And that's hunting, too. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you catch a fish, then you also get to eat.
Yeah.
But it's also relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
I think books are good. You would go through them, but I think books are still
a
good.
musical instrument,
Mm-hmm.
harmonica, guitar.
Yeah, guitar. Or you could just bring
Piano.
you could bring a bunch of strings and make your own stringed instruments.
Oh boy. The
So
jet stick.
Yeah, you can make a gent stick. Except you wouldn't have electricity, so it'd just be like flip, 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 flip. You know what a gent stick is?
No, I don't.
Okay, well we'll talk about it some other time.
Another episode.
Yeah.
That gets its whole category right there.
Yeah, or like, I mean, I made that cigar box guitar for my grandpa. Did I show you that?
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
Yeah, so you could make something like that. I would take a box of cigars.
It's a good plan. Also can be traded for lots and lots of bullets.
Exactly.
Well, what if you brought corn and made fuel from the corn? What if you had...
That's what I said earlier, is you could use the corn to make ethanol for your motorcycle.
Yeah.
But you gotta have... It takes a lot to really make enough to be meaningful, though.
True, but
canola?
you know... Canola? Can you make fuel out of canola? I mean, I know that it's pretty useful.
I mean, why don't you just raid the gas station and, like, take the tanker truck and just take an entire tanker truck full of gas? That's going to last you for, like, years.
Okay, so would you have a gas vehicle or a diesel vehicle? I feel like it'd be easier to make fuel for a diesel vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and they tend to tow things better, and you're probably going to be towing some stuff.
So diesel can run off of vegetable oil. Just a few modifications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And generally they get better mileage, so your fuel that you make would last longer.
I think they're a little louder.
It's okay.
Just a quieter.
You're going faster than zombies can run, so.
Diesel all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think diesel. What if you had access to an electric vehicle like a Tesla that you could charge via solar panels or your water wheel?
So they got Teslas that
no
have
electricity,
solar panels, right?
Zero electricity.
What's
we're not
wrong
talking...
with solar panels, man?
Nope. Because if we're bringing a electric vehicle up there, we're bringing a Prius, a diesel fucking Prius. All right.
Did those
Do
I don't
those
think
even
those
exist?
No, they don't. But a diesel fucking Prius. All right. That's what we would bring because
Okay.
I don't want a Tesla. You have
You
to
gotta
plug
have
into
4-wheel drive. We're going up to the mountains.
Does Tesla have 4-wheel drive?
No.
Okay, a Tesla has to plug into a wall, but a Prius doesn't have to be plug them to the wall.
All right, Toyota, you heard this. Nick will buy a diesel 4-wheel drive Prius if you make one.
Don't make it a Prius. Make it something new.
It's going to come out and it's going to be the Prius 4x4.
Well,
does it have a bed? I mean, what's your optimal?
So doesn't the way a Tesla works is there's an individual motor battery for each wheel, and so that's how it works. There's a motor for each wheel in the back, and so how they made the Semi was they took 4 of them, two together in the back. It's a bigger battery. It's a Semi.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So if you can easily put a motor in the front, a motor in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually talking about a Tesla Model S with all-wheel drive.
It's just all batteries.
That would be 4 motors.
So you have like one dude like scrunched in between a bunch of motors. I mean, it's
Well, okay, we're getting off topic.
On a serious note.
So, what do you think your day would consist of if you lived off the grid in the mountains?
4 in the morning.
Wake up at 4 in the morning?
4 in the morning.
Why?
Because you have to.
Probably
It's
wake
like
up when the sun rises.
Yeah. It's just sometime around 4 in the morning.
Well, it depends on the time of year.
Well, you like want to be out and about when the sun rises.
Sure.
So you
I
gotta
can
wake
agree
up
with
before and then like be like get ready, to get your shower.
It would be
brush your
nothing like
teeth.
it is now.
that. Shower and brush your teeth? With what? Dirt? I'm going to use this clay to brush my teeth because I don't have any
So
teeth.
that's okay. So do you take a bunch of toothpaste with you and trade that for a bunch of bullets?
Ooh.
Toilet paper. Holy crap!
Okay, toilet paper might be...
You go run to Costco and you just take all the toilet paper. Oh man!
Toilet paper might be
You can
good,
trade that
pretty
for
good
everything
trading
else.
thing. I think Nick's got it pretty good with the corn and the hemp, though.
Yeah.
I think that those are useful.
No, see, I wouldn't
marijuana.
make toilet paper. I'd make you rags that you could wash. To wipe your
Wash
asses
your
with.
poop, man.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to. Because toilet paper's going to run out, buddy. Unless you want dingleberries.
just you got to make the Costco run,
Every time you use the bathroom, you just jump in the river.
and then your river gets
You
all
just downstream-
your clean water system is
Downstream.
Just make sure you're at the top.
There you
downstream.
go.
You know, they say crap rolls downhill. It also flows downstream.
Yep.
Well, see, that's why I never drank any of the water in the mountains, because I know that there's cows up there that poop into it.
Well, I'm not talking about, like, the hills.
No, I'm not
talking
talking
like-
about the hills.
We're talking
and
like where the source of the water is, man.
yeah.
Dude, okay,
So
you gotta go
they
hiking
have
with us next
cows
weekend.
up there. A lot of places in the mountains, they have cows up there.
There
Not-
ain't no
not as
cows
looking-
where we're going.
not
Why
as
are you
high
looking
as
at me
not
like
as
that?
high as what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I've been up there, and you're right. Like
There's
up
hella cows.
up Black
That's
Snake
why
and
they
stuff.
care about the wolf population.
They
because
do.
they have their cows up there.
They killed those
And the
things
wolf-
back in the early days for a reason.
And a wolf doesn't give 2 shits.
Right.
The wolf probably doesn't even eat the cow. Just
Mhm.
kills it.
Yeah. And it kills it for sport. It doesn't even eat it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, we got the cabin next to the creek with the garden. Is there any other infrastructure or facilities that you would build? Would you build roads? Would you just build off of a road that's
Well, it
already
depends
up
on-
there?
Take your D11 and
What was your
road.
transportation? Do you have a bike,
How about a D11?
Well, you said a motorcycle.
a motorcycle,
So motorcycle, you wouldn't really need a
a
road.
horse?
Yeah.
Same with the horse.
Yeah.
You'd have to have some sort of trail.
How about a bike? You take like
A
a
bicycle?
mountain bicycle.
Yeah.
No fuel for that.
No fuel.
fucker.
Yeah, but I mean, tires go flat, chains get rusty.
Yeah.
You know, a bicycle is the most efficient way for a human to travel,
Oh yeah,
as far as calories used
Mhm.
and burned.
sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can get along with that.
What about a skateboard?
No.
No, maybe a long burn.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. Well, they make mountain boards.
Oh god.
You ever seen those?
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
big wheels and the handbrake.
Yeah. But I don't think that would be a practical way to get around. Okay, so how close would you live to people? Like, let's say all 3 of us were up there, we're in the same area. How far away would
20
we
miles.
be apart?
At least.
That's
Really?
like
That far
that's
apart?
more than a day's
Oh,
walking
between
travel.
all of us?
Yeah. No. So let's say
From civilization?
no,
20 miles.
not from
Well, to
civilization.
answer that question, I'm going to say 20 miles.
From civilization.
Yep.
Okay, I'm talking about between the 3 of us. Let's say we all
So the 3 of us are we all
Shouting
have
distance.
our each own
Shouting
individual
distance,
So we have our own each individual cabin,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're all
Shouting
like a
distance.
100-yard radius with each other.
What's shouting distance? Depends on how dense.
Depends on how loud you can
How
shout.
windy it
How
is.
dense the
all
trees
stuff,
are.
yeah.
Like 20-minute walk. I'd want to be relatively close.
I'd say less than a 20-minute walk.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking like basically next door neighbors.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Like enough so
Well,
you
why
can have your
wouldn't you
privacy
just have
if
your
you
own
close your
domicile?
door.
Why wouldn't you just share a domicile then? Just like
And just have multiple rooms. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's probably harder to make multiple rooms
well, I
than
mean,
it is to make
at
one
that point, why would you
structure.
need rooms?
well, also
You would sleep in the loft.
also because privacy.
Yeah.
Like there are going to be times that I want to have alone time with my wife.
Oh, so we get to bring our wives?
Well, yeah, of course.
This is not first you mentioned that.
Well, I figured that was implied. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
this-
leave my wife behind.
Shenanigans. What if your wife is a tool? Your wife can cook.
What if your wife
Is
is
it-
a zombie?
Okay, you cannot say my wife is a tool.
No, you know what I mean.
She, I guess
brings
you can
things to the
say
table.
she's an asset, just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same way that you guys.
She's a
would.
Yeah.
person too.
And she is
Yeah.
a person.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you get the advantage with her because she can cook.
Well, you can cook.
I can cook too.
Lance
I
can cook
can also-
spaghetti.
Oh, I could trade that for bullets.
I would
Yeah.
be making your fucking spaghetti, bro. I'd be making it
Yeah.
with the wheat that I brought up.
What about the pigs?
The pigs. Oh, I
It
have
needs a
pigs,
lot of
too.
pigs.
I would have a full little farm.
His
Yeah.
his
My
spaghetti takes like at least one whole pig every time he makes it.
Yeah. Hashtag Lance the vegan.
Well, the pigs are grass.
Right. Yeah, they eat the grass.
Can we bring some goats too?
Yes,
Sure.
actually, goat. That's a genius idea.
Because
So they can eat all the garbage.
Well, goat. They'll help keep the sagebrush down and stuff.
vegetation.
Yeah, the vegetation.
Mhm.
They'll give you milk. They're apparently pretty good pets. And what's that look for?
Oh, so
How good
maybe
you are with pets.
maybe the bear would eat the goat instead of your dog, which you love so much.
Yeah,
because their
yeah.
love sleeps in us.
But I don't think the goat would defend you. You have a guard goat. It's like meh.
All the way up until it dies.
But again, because there's goats with the horns.
Right?
Yeah.
You know they come with horns
Oh.
until you take them
What
off.
if you throw a red ball at them?
a red
Then they're useless.
a red bull? Oh my
A
god.
red ball. Like a red bouncy ball, man. If you throw a red bouncy ball at a goat, they fall
I
over.
don't get the joke.
No, that's just a certain type of goat.
I see the YouTube videos, man. That's what I see, man. Monkey see, monkey do. So you take a red ball with you. Okay.
You take a red ball.
So that's what you. You've been quiet this whole time. The truth comes out.
Lance would take a red
A
ball.
red ball.
Just for their ghosts. Yep.
Just to make the goats fall over.
That would be my
That would be the
entertainment.
entertainment. You'd be like,
Okay, so all right, Lance the vegan. If you're entertainment, then you have to brew our alcohol for us too,
I can do that.
because that's what I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment and booze. That's
Yep.
you gotta be the.
Yep,
they
absolutely.
do complement each other.
Yeah,
I'd say.
100%.
It'd be like the stand-up comedy that you like so much because you're drunk.
He'd stand up and be like,
Just look at that.
Yeah. Goats.
Boing.
Yeah, what about them goats? They're made of grass.
Eat grass, I can eat them. This is great.
All right, so. All right, well, what would your diet consist of? Obviously, we talked about like wild game,
Goats.
goats,
Fish.
pigs,
Fish is good. Yeah, I like fish.
I think fish falls under wild game. Vegetables. What
What's your
vegetables
vegetable
would you grow? Corn, hemp. I mean, you're not going to eat the weed, but
I mean,
well, you might. I don't know.
Maybe
But
you
Never,
could.
never done that before.
Yeah, you would,
I'm not sure. You
Tomatoes, you
Yeah,
said?
Well, I'm
Carrots?
thinking of bringing things that don't naturally grow that you would miss a lot that taste really good.
See, but
because-
then there's huckleberries that are already there. It's like, yes.
okay, but things. What
But that's
about
only
things
certain
you
times of year.
wouldn't bring? I wouldn't bring kale.
I'd bring onions.
Ooh, onions. That would be good.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think there's onions that grow up there.
I'm sure there
Potatoes. I think potatoes would have to be a staple.
Yeah.
One bag and plant it.
Yeah. Well, and they would. They're pretty
Take half
easy.
that and plant it again.
Right. They're pretty easy to grow and stuff. I've heard.
Also, if you have a cabin with like a floor space or cellar type environment, you can just keep your root vegetables in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would probably have to build some sort of root cellar, whether it was under your cabin or next door or whatever. I've seen videos of people do that where they just kind of dig a hole in the side of a hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
And apparently that works pretty good.
yeah.
Can you grow cilantro around here? Because I really like cilantro.
I mean, maybe.
I think cilantro is invasive.
Oh,
Like mint.
perfect. Let's just get a
Ooh.
whole lot of.
I would definitely grow a whole ton of mint because
Yeah.
that would be really good in a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Mint is also invasive.
So like
Yeah.
spices, like we're on the subject, just like flavoring your food, right?
Okay.
So that's something you can trade for a lot of bullets as
But
well.
the mint grows up in the mountains anyways.
Right, right.
Mhm.
We're
But
not
you could-
talking spearmint, though.
Yeah, but I'm talking you could control it. to
Have
where-
you ever grown mint before? Can I tell a really funny story?
Yeah,
Yes.
This
absolutely.
is about my childhood. And
That's a funny one.
when I was younger, I lived in a town that grew a lot of spearmint for Wrigley's gum. And so, like 1 week out of the year, when they would process all this mint, the whole town, all the surrounding towns would smell like spearmint.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's really cool. It's so like refreshing. It's minty.
Mhm, yeah.
So I had it in my head that I wanted to grab some of the mint and put it in my mom's garden out front.
Mhm.
And she's like, "You can do that, but you're going to learn your lesson." And I didn't even listen to her. I was halfway out the door. I stopped by a field on the way home from work and just pulled a couple of mint plants out and planted them, and they grew into bushes. And I was like, "Yes, like smell it, like get the oil."
All of a sudden, you had more.
The next year comes around,
Oh,
like
boy.
a new school year, new this, new that, and spring hits, and there used to be a whole bunch of flowers there. There's one big, huge, like both sides bushes of mint. And my mom's like,
There it is.
Yeah, they like grew under the ground. And
Wow,
out. Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's super invasive, and I was like, how could it be if it's like such a nice smelling plant?
Well, you saying how can it be so nice smelling and so mean at the same time?
Yeah.
Mint is mean. Hashtag mint is mean.
Yeah, hashtag mint is me.
Yeah, we're about out of time, but it's been good.
That's been good. I like it.
All right.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that again.
All right. Thank you for watching the Finished Business Podcast.
Our Twitter handles are down here.
Yeah,
They're there.
our Twitter handles
They're
are down here. And if you have questions for us, we'll answer them at the end of the next episode. Oh, we have a question that we have to answer before we quit.
Uh-oh.
If you leave a comment or tweet at us if you have a question that you want us to
Our
answer.
Patreon details are below.
Oh yeah, our Patreon details are below. We're going to start an after show next week for Patreon subscribers only. All you have to do is pledge $1 a month, and you get access to the after show, which is pretty much just us BSing and continuing to talk about the topic, but probably going on way more tangents. Even though
What's
we
the
already
question?
do. All right, I'm getting there. Hold on. The question comes from. Oops. Oh, sorry.
Do you have the question on your phone?
No, man.
Oh.
No, it's right here. It's a comment. It was a comment on our artificial intelligence, the last episode of our podcast.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. This comes from Nicholas Nelson.
I wonder who that is.
Says, 2 comments as I listen. Number 1, if AI creates money unceasingly, won't that drive inflation through the roof and devalue it, causing poverty instead of wealth? Number 2, in The Road to Wigan Pier by George Orwell, he discusses how everything is work for someone and everything is play for someone else. A carpenter might enjoy playing the piano while he is not working, and a pianist might enjoy woodwork on his time off. This being the case, if AI takes over all of the jobs, won't that not only eliminate work but also play? I think it was Nishka who suggested that if a person was put into a world where all they did was leisure, they would soon do something to break the system so that something interesting would happen.
I completely agree.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So as far as the whole thing where like you lose your value as a human person, that's kind of what ties into that, and that's like a big part of what AI could cause.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe we should answer these sort of questions in the after show.
And the after show.
Yeah.
Thank you for your comment, though.
Thank you for your comment, Nicholas.
Now you have to be a patron.
But yes, so thanks for watching the Finished Business Podcast. That's Nick, the host. I'm Brad, co-host, and Lance, the vegan co-host.
Have a good week.
Thanks. Bye.
Is it mute?
No, not yet.
Yeah.